Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, audiophiles of all experience levels, sensitivities, proclivities, and allegiances. To Jean rhyming, we have today, from the Magical Drop-Off Ferry, the CCA NRAs, not the National Rifle Association. I know you Second Amendment people are all, as soon as you hear NRA, I don't want to get like a warning or a trigger or some sort of auto thing. No, these are electorate earphones in the form of IEMs in your monitors. And apparently, allegedly, they have a 3-magnet driver technology that's supposed to clean up a lot of the problems that you have with a single magnet and also give you a lot more bang for your buck from an impedance standpoint. That means you can drive them with things like your computer and your headphone. So this is an unboxing and a first impressions. And we'll see how we're impressed. The tool. The other tool. What does it say on the back of the box in the very tiny print for old people? Nothing. It's all in Japanese pretty much. Oh, plug type 0.5 millimeter, 0.75 millimeters, frequency 20 to 40,000 hertz. That's way up there in the stratosphere. Why doesn't it go lower? Why does nobody go down like 7? I want to do a bass rumble sometimes. Not every time, not all the time. Not a bass head, but sometimes we get some real funky, like some dark, dank, real deep Jamaican dub. You want to hear that. So the sensitivity is 103 dB at a milliwatt. It's got a resistance of 25 ohms, better than 32, I guess. And we have a plug type of 3.5 millimeter in the box, and that's pretty much all that matters. Okay, and CCA is largely seen as a low-budget company, and in that spirit or in that consideration, these are not the money that you would see out of like the plane. Jesus, I can't think of the name of them. The 7 hertz. So we have the NRAs. They have a nice protective little phone screen there somehow for whatever reason that we can try to get our nail under if we had nails. And then this is a very simple presentation. They don't waste a bunch of money on the box. You do get a cable. You get, it seems like, one set of alternate ear. Oh no, maybe those are the only ones. You get a set, it looks like, of, I think they're silicone. You get the usual papers and you know what to do with them. And a stamp. You definitely get a stamp. YZ. Why not? And in here, if you see this is very interesting. It's this way. And we see the shiny metal side, I guess. And then this way, we see the cute gummy side. It's very masculine, feminine this way. And apparently, I'm supposed to do this to separate the two in twain. Boop. And boop. We'll try to keep these things relatively. And so here we go with what we have. The back side and the front side. They have your standard 2-pin connectors. And I suppose there are 2 pairs of tips because, hey, you have one on the actual pair of buds themselves. And I don't know, we went with this nice dental, this very toothpaste dental hygiene sort of color scheme, I guess. I think there were alternatives, and for whatever reason, this is the one we chose. And also, we have the cable. Not Deadpool's cable, but you know. I like, you know, Nathan. Maybe he'll make a guest appearance at some point in the future. If the channel becomes big enough. Oh my. This is actually harder to get into than it should be. It's folded in on itself. It's a very origami thing. It's a sack. It's not actually the unsacking. Okay. Not a bad cable. Holds its shape a little bit. We got some sort of bag tie here that we going to file to the side. And as you can see, it has a little bit of retention, but not as much as some other cables. It seems to be relaxed a little bit. It's done its yoga. It's come, you know, it made its inner piece. 3.5 at an L. And this is quite gummy and seems like this will last quite some time because it's really well built. It's going to take some real abuse to short yourself out here, and it's going to sit against the side of your device. Speaking of devices, well, first, hold on. Let us decide which sides we're going to put this in here. We have, as we're going to represent, this one will be this ear, and this one will be in that ear. Let's figure out the way the cable goes. We presume as I don't see any particular marking, I will do it like this. This is harder to do than you think when you have giant 6X glove hands. Pardon the giant monkey while he tries to build a house of cards. And oh my, these do not want to give up any extra space at all. Perhaps, there we go. There we go. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. Okay, so they have the, yeah, no. Uh-oh, hold on. Okay, here's hoping. And now, we will find an apparatus. Hey, look, I have one right here. Talk amongst yourselves. Well, we find our favorite testing track in the whole wide world. And it is, by the way, just to pitch a friend, this is an album and a group called Pound for Pound, and an artist named Charlie Hunter. And I really, really dig this track. This whole album is so perfectly mixed and has so much in each range that you hear, there's such great separation, such great mixing, that you hear things so separately. And just so we know, this is what the album looks like. You can pick any track off this album, and it is guitar, bass. It's one guy that plays the guitar and the bass at the same time. He has an 8-stringed instrument. Don't ask me how he does it. He has no girlfriend. He has a bunch of extra time. I don't know what it is. Got no other hobbies. I don't know. But the dude's a monster. And vibes and drum kit, and a little percussion in some of the tracks. And you hear if you want to test stuff, your speakers, your headphones, you hear everything coming through separately, clearly. It's amazing. It's amazingly mixed, but it's also just just every range is covered. High mids, low mids, low lows, sub bass, everything is in there. So it's a great album for testing. So, it's up there with like Brass Monkey if you're just gonna try to test bass. So we're gonna install these and see what kind of fit we get. And get my little CIA hook on there. For my big ears, just, not that it's that big of a deal, but to get these little hooks up and over is a little bit of a challenge, but the struggle is real. Nobody wants to give my first world problems. Okay, let's see if we can, do I feel the seal? Do you feel the seal? That's the question for every set of, can you feel the seal? Okay, now we're gonna drop our phone, and then we're gonna give ourselves a second chance, because everyone needs second chances in life. And we're going to listen to a song called Return of the Candyman. Now what I'm finding is with these tips, at least, they are sliding out, especially in my left ear. I'm having a problem keeping the seal, which is losing the bass, obviously. But when they are properly seated, you're getting quite a bit of the low end. But they're not low end oriented. These are really a little bit light on the low end. Staging is actually pretty good. And again, this is just a first impression. I haven't time to sit with these. I haven't time to burn them in. I haven't time to get used to them and get the clarity. But the stuff that's panned out, it literally makes you feel like it's over there or over there. It's a pretty mellow mix. It's not super sparkly in the highs, which I like. I like a smoother mix. I don't feel like anybody listening to something in their car stereo or in their normal headphones. I wouldn't mix a thing the way that people mix for audiophile gear, because let's be honest, audiophile gear is largely very silly. These are definitely designed for the as a worker, as an all do what I'll do sort of pair of earphones. Sorry, they're nice. You can hear the bass, but again, the bass is it's probably its weak point. These are not for bass heads. It's even when I'm pushing my ears in as deeply as I can, the bass is, I'd say, one level back from everything else. They're very mid forward. And so it'll be great for anybody who's big into vocalists and stuff like that. This is where you're going to be, because you're definitely getting between, I'd say 1 and 4K is where its real strong suit is. So just in the first impression, they're very mid forward. They're going to be good for vocals. Great listening to podcasts if that's what you do. News, any of that kind of thing. Sports, you know what I'm saying? Any announcing sort of thing. Anything with the voice. These are going to be your sort of go-tos probably. And bottom line is, at a price of 25 simoleons, dollars, whatever the currency is in your country, for the equivalent of 25 American bucks, you're really going to get a workhorse, and it's going to be something that you go to very often for regular listening. Now, my problem was a little bit with the fit. It's not that the fit was horrible, it's that I felt like if I shook my head, these things were going to come flying, And so for that alone, you know what I mean? These are probably not going to be gym favorites, which actually normally, I like to listen to my podcasts and stuff like that while I'm doing my little walks or doing my little whatever, anything that I have to do that's boring and, repetitive. So it takes my mind focus up. So not really going to be that for you, but we'll give it a shot. So as a part of the issue with having these things seated, because they really do keep expanding out, and I have a giant head. I have a very big head. So if they're pushing out of my big head, they're probably going to push out of your little heads. So, one of the things that we thought about is the shake test, and they fail. So let that be a part of your lesson. This one stayed in a bit, but I can get it out of there if I wanted to. And that's with an ear hook. So, you know, you're not going to be jogging in these things. You're not going to be doing your karate. You're not going to be working your heavy bag while you're listening to these. Just let that be known. But for $25, you're still getting a pretty decent bargain.